Well, yes, Evans, we are dealing with BOG fairly to the extent that we are asking the governor and the two deputies to resign because they've been co-architects of this, our economic hardship. Yeah, Dr. Addison and his two deputies are co-architects of this economic hardship that we are facing. The time they were printing 35 billion for the government in 2021, didn't they know that it will have repercussions? The time they printed 45 billion for the government in 2022, didn't they know it will have repercussions? And this one, the IMF shouldn't have stepped in this way. They don't really have to come in. Otherwise, it's like they're just getting in the line of fire. When I saw the IMF statement, you know what? It took me back to the 1980s, 78, 1981. You know, when ex-President Manley of Jamaica suggested to Thatcher, Reagan, and co that, look, we should set up a UN bank that can lend to developing countries on better terms than this IMF. On better terms than this IMF. Thatcher told us, you know, because Manley got troubles, you know, well, actually, the one side of the history shows that the CIA supported Edward Seager to win that election. So Manley lost the election. 1978, he did a mini conference on this matter. Then by 1981, just a year before the main conference on this, getting IMF out of the way so that we'll have a UN bank that will deal with this on better terms. It is said that CIA supported Edward Seager to win the Jamaican elections. That's how Manley was taken out. And then once Manley was taken out, Reagan and Thatcher were free. So when the Ghanaian government tried to push, so with Jamaica taken out, it was now left with Tanzania and Ghana that pushed Reagan and Thatcher. Oh, it was easy to just ignore Ghana and Tanzania on this matter. So IMF should be the last institution to come and support Bank of Ghana on this matter. We had over how many 40 years ago, it was saying that their own structures and all that are not good for our development. Yet, because they want us to continue to be impoverished, they are not interested in properly helping us to change our structures. They kept IMF to continue to lend to us in such a manner that we will never get out of this our poverty. So I don't want to hear IMF on this particular matter at all. They should go back to the history. Look at what Reagan and Thatcher said. Thatcher said she's not interested in a UN bank that will have majority, because developing countries were in the majority, countries that were living on overdrafts being in charge of the UN bank. You Google history, you'll find it. Yes, that's what she said. She can't bring British taxpayers' money.
Martin, on this specific Martin, on this specific matter, though, I mean, the facts are the facts, right? Because if you take 60 billion, which really is the headline story on this matter, and 53 billion of that is down to the domestic debt exchange, which is not the creation of the central bank, then at least it puts that in perspective, does it not?
No, it doesn't at all. Listen, Evans, it doesn't. So let's go back to the second argument. So that's why I said that when Bank of Ghana was giving government 35 billion in 2021, didn't they know it will have consequences? When they gave government 40 billion in 2022, didn't they know it will have consequences?
But the argument is that without that, the economy would have collapsed. The government was struggling. The international markets were close to it. They needed that money.
No, it wasn't going to collapse.
Okay, let's.
It wasn't going to collapse.
Stay with me.
We created it.
So, stay with me, Martin. I want to bring.
Wait, Evans, let me land.
Okay.
So, one sentence.
Yeah.
On the law, the 5%. So the law, the Bank of Ghana Act 612, as amended by 918, says that don't exceed 5%. Central bank shouldn't lend to government beyond 5% of the previous revenue. That's revenue raised in the previous year. And when you want to exceed it, report to Parliament. Look at subsection 6. Did Bank of Ghana report to Parliament? At least they could have leaked it. Like, I have this book, Condoleezza Rice's book, No Higher Honor. In the US, when there are matters like this and it's critical, national security being involved, and of course the economy is national security, There's a way you leak it. In the US, the State Department, they do it. It's constant. Democracy and leakages, they go together. If they had leaked it in a way, then the public would have come in. So Addison and his 2 deputies are co-architects of our economic doldrums. We are starving. We can't buy food, we can't pay rent, we can't pay school fees because of Addison, Ofori-Atta, and Akufo-Addo, and they all must resign en bloc.
Okay, so as far as the law is concerned, you are categorical that there was a breach of the law.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. It doesn't matter that the Ofori-Atta went to Parliament, that he doesn't want, he's taken away under the fiscal discipline, they want to exceed 5%. No, the Bank of Ghana report to Parliament. The Bank of Ghana report to Parliament. That's the question.
This week, though, the minority held a press conference. There'll be a lot of talk around this subject. Listen to a few of those clips, and I will come to a studio.
Recklessly mismanaged the central bank and brought it to its knees and cannot remain at the helm of affairs of the bank without being held accountable. Those who have led this reckless and criminal conduct unleashed economic hardship and financial distress on the suffering people of Ghana must be held accountable on this particular action. In fact, impunity of the highest order can no longer be tolerated by the suffering masses of Ghanaians. We must not allow this dangerous precedent to be set for future leaders. In this regard, we in the NDC call for the resignation, immediate resignation of the governor of the central bank and his deputies within 21 days from today. We are resolved to embark on popular action to occupy the central bank and drive out the team of inept, callous, and criminally minded mismanagers of our finances to save the Bank of Ghana.
The Bank of Ghana governor and anybody who hold accountable is the Attorney General. But which of you here believes that Godfrey Dami is going to prosecute any member of our President Akufo-Addo's government? It's not going to happen. But I can assure you that apart from the fact that the governor fears appearing before Parliament, in fact, he doesn't even like appearing before the Finance Committee of Parliament. He thinks he's only accountable to President Akufo-Addo. And the last time we needed to remind him that even the Finance Minister, upon all his escapades, is forced sometimes to appear before Parliament. So if the Finance Minister is bigger than you, how dare you not be able to appear before Parliament? Let him understand he is accountable to Parliament. And the 21 days is a long grace period. Which of you will believe that a Bank of Ghana in this level of crisis, self-inflicted, will be building a $250 million new headquarters? In fact, those of you who know Ridge Hospital, when President Mahama had the opportunity to lead this country, he built Ridge Hospital that you and I can use today. Right opposite of that hospital on the right-hand side is Bank of Ghana new headquarters. As if something is wrong with the old headquarters. You are broke, you have actually collapsed the economy. The next thing you do is to award a $250 million project. And guess what? That project is one of the fastest going projects in this country. Not hospital projects, not education project, not road project. The fastest going project in this country is the construction of Bank of Ghana. So how can you tell us that the country is broke?
In the years past, we noticed some cracks at certain parts of the building, and the bank did a structural integrity assessment so that it was no longer fit for purpose and could not stand major earth tremors. That building has been in residence since independence. And that's why management saw the need that once we realize that our building may be under threat and will put the lives of people in danger once something drastic happens, then they put measures in place to ensure that we put up a new building. It was not started last year anyway.
When was it started?
I think it was started about 2 years ago in 2021. But it has been on the drawing board for a long time.
2020 or 2021?
I think the construction started in 2021.
In 2021?
Yes.
How much is the Bank of Ghana committing to that project?
I don't have the figure offhand, sir.
The figure for your headquarters?
I don't have the figure off my head, sir. That's what I'm saying.
$250 million. Are you committing $250 million to that project?
I don't have the full complement of the figures.
Mr. Randolph, you are the Director of Finance of the Bank of Ghana. This is a major project that will shake the balance book of every organization. You should have that figure of head.
This project has been on the drawing board for more than 4 or 5 years. Once you have been told that where you are sitting has structural problems and we don't know what may happen in future, you will take steps to ensure that you save life and property.